the problem that's taking place here, Pluto. Could I ask you again what your race is? I forgot to ask that earlier. Are you white like me? Or are you Caucasian?
Correct.
Yeah. So let me tell you a lot of the fallacy that you have in here, and this is something that I don't want you to leave. I want you to listen to all of this, please. You have a lot of misogyny in what you say, and I don't want you to get mad at that. But the way that you articulate your words and the way that you speak to others in this live shows me that. And I've seen some of that in myself years ago, and it's something that I had to be pointed out to, and I worked through those. So you're discussing things in a way that makes people uncomfortable. And until you get over that, you're never going to get anywhere else. Okay, like I said, and yeah, that's fine. Hey, but
No, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
yeah. So like I said, if you get over that, and it's not kind of racist. Everybody can know host is projecting his past actions onto Pluto. He's not. Like I said, Pluto. I don't know where you're at in the country either, but like
Colorado.
Colorado, that's good. Well, so like I don't know if you know this or not, or you've dug into this, but we as white males in this country are very privileged in the way that we can act.
I agree.
So that being the case, you have a little bit of that, or a lot of that, in the way that you
Yeah, sure. Okay.
talk to people.
Can I ask for examples? Give me just like a few that would make you inclined to believe this. What are some things that I have said or I have done which would give you an inkling to believe that I have given misogynistic tendencies? Just give some examples. So we'll go one by one.
Some of that, what you just said to me now, that sounded like a typewriter coming back with no inclination, and you did that on purpose, so it sounded as there was no tone in that. And then the way that somebody was trying to speak earlier, and you were like, hold on. Let me go ahead and get this out right quick. That's a very condescending way to do that. Okay? So
Okay.
that's not
Please.
the way we're going to run this debate or whatever. And again, you can take this with a grain of salt. You can say whatever, dude. Homie's just an old guy from Alabama and he don't know no better. But again, it is what it is. You know,
Homie's just an old guy from Alabama and he don't know no better.
Yeah.
Look, when I like think, when I want to articulate something, it doesn't help me articulate or be able to convey opinions. Like as you said earlier, for you to not be confused or for you to be able to understand if I'm not interrupted, so I can have a train of thoughts uninterrupted, so I can portray what I want to portray coherently. If I get interrupted, it's not going to come out the way I probably intend it to, because, you know, a jumble of thoughts, I'm not getting new information. It's not to be condescending, it's not to be, also, even what you brought up, even if it was true, it wouldn't be misogynistic, it would be condescending to everyone, because I treat anyone this way who interrupts me. It's just,
You've treated
what's another point?
You've treated me differently than you've treated some of the women on here.
Pluto, Pluto, in all your debates, you do that, man. You do that with a lot of women. You have voice influence.
I do that. I agree. I do this with men and women. I agree. Holy fuck.
Yeah. So again, if
what you say, it's how you
you
say
work
it.
on that, there's some empathy that's lacking in that from what I see.
Okay.
And like I said, the fact that you're not taking this very well kind of proves the point of that. Okay.
Oh
and
my god.
I'm not here to debate. I'm here to say that. You see what I'm saying?
What's your next? All right. So I am misogynistic because I don't like being
You said
interrupted. What's the next point?
You're coming off that way. We didn't say you were.
Yeah. Wait. No. All right. What else would lead you to believe I am misogynistic besides not liking being interrupted? What's the next one?
Oh, with some of the views that you have on this entire
Dad, thank you.
some of it, like I say, because you're not listening to the people that have the ability to have abortions at all. So you're viewing that, and being 20, 22. I was a 22-year-old fella, and trust me, I know where you're at to some degree because I was, in some of those shoes, and you have a lot to learn. 50-year-old men look at me and say, I've got a lot to learn, and the only way that we can learn that is listening to those people. Okay.
So you said my stance, my point of view was misogynistic. Can you I laid out my whole argument for you. Which part was misogynistic?
The part where you don't believe in any abortions, that part.
I believe in some abortions, first of all. Secondly, I'd like you to address the part of my argument in which you disagree with it, and more importantly, viewed to be misogynistic. And also, maybe should I preface, if men could get pregnant, I would hold the same exact standard for men as
If
well.
men could get pregnant, majority of
But
them
they-
would get abortions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And I think that would be very, very wrong for them to
It
do.
would not.
But they can't though, and here's the thing, right? You don't acknowledge, right? The one thing is, right, especially when people were asking you right here, right, like what a man has to do with this, like what is like a man's. Someone said something like that, right? What I would have argued in that moment was like, so a man has to provide all of that, but he didn't have an infringement of his rights, an infringement of his body. Well, the other person did. So you don't even hold the same standard.
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Yes, I can. So basically, my issue is prior. Someone was talking about in a situation, right, where when it comes to child care or when it comes to someone being pregnant, right, someone was asking basically what a man has to do with that, right? What are his, like, not his consequences, but what is his deal in that? What does he have to do, right? And you haven't even brought up the fact, like, right, men don't have an infringement of their rights in that moment. They can add on indefinitely provide afterwards. They do, they have to, especially when it comes to child support, all those things, right? But they're not having an infringement of their body or rights. In fact, it's a lot of men inflicting that.
I'm sorry, but I'm very confused where the
What
misogynistic
she's
part is there.
saying is that
But it's still, because your take is still going to be misogynistic at the end of the day, because
What do you
in
think
this
misogyny means?
in this standard, you view women as lesser. What else is it supposed to mean? You view women as lesser. You view women as they're lesser.
What?
In we're not talking about infringement of rights.
So I mean,
What?
look, you're entitled to your
I
opinion.
love
You're entitled to your wrong opinion. However, if you are going
It's
to
my
make
opinion.
a
How is
claim,
it wrong?
if you are
The
going,
whole thing is your opinion.
if
The
you are
whole
going
thing
to
is
make
that.
if you are going to make a claim about me viewing women as lesser, and your evidence for that was, well, there is going to be an inherent biological difference when it comes to two people having intercourse, and the result it is going to have on both of them. Therefore, there are going to be different descriptive standards in which is going to be the expectation for what one is going to be able to do, and therefore I view women as lesser. I highly suggest, and to you and to anyone who agrees with her, to please take a logic class, because
Oh,
that is saying if
You should too. I'll see you
that
in
is saying if
class.
P, then Q,
I'll see
then
you in
R.
the same class,
Take an empathy class.
It's not
You don't
entailed.
understand literacy, and you actually don't even know how to debate. Your logic has been your opinion. You have not
sound like a
been able to
robot.
back it up. I've refuted every single one of your things with logic consistencies, which I have not even gotten an answer for.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Wait. When did you address the responsibility objection? When did you respond to future
The
consciousness?
responsibility
When did you
again,
respond? When did you?
in misogynistic bias. So you prove my point.
Sorry, what?
Thank you for proving my point.
Bias and what?
Thank you for proving my point. What
Your
you
point
said?
was
Responsibility, right? You said responsibility. So
the
again,
responsibility
woman's responsibility
objection.
for the child would be through an infringement of their rights. So now their hold is responsible. Again, that is a differing thing between a man and a woman. There's a distinction here. You next.
So, my claim was never that they have the same. If your point was to say, hey, look, there's actually one is infringed upon and one isn't infringed upon, guess what? My claim was never that they're both infringed upon.
But
Yeah.
So
one would have
congratulations, you
a
proved nothing.
But one would have a consequence.
Secondly, I said the
But one would have a
expectation, if the man was pregnant, would be the same. The morality,
But that's
which
not
would be
happening
the morality in which would be expected upon the two individuals would not be the same. However, there are going to be obviously descriptive differences and reality and facts of a situation that need to be accounted for. So when when a man and a woman have sex, and the woman gets pregnant, obviously the expectation is not going to be on the man to continue a pregnancy, as he is not currently pregnant. However, if he was, that obligation would be there.
If he
So
was,
no, it is not
exactly.
different for man and woman.
Hey.
It is different for person in the scenario in which is experiencing something. What
I
part
can feel
of
that
that?
works too.
I was just trying to talk. Be
Hey.
quiet.
Yeah, I calmed Pluto down right quick, but again, we're getting like real high. What's the deal?
What's the deal is the claim was made against me that I view women as less than. And the evidence for this was an incoherent ramble of bullshit. I have